Welcome back. Well, now time to take a look at the shifts, the rescheduling of the elections from the point of law. Mr. Layi Babatunde joins us now. He's the senior advocate of Nigeria. Thank you for coming on this morning, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Well, looking at this, I know that part of the several points that were cited from the point of law is that of the Electoral Act, Section 26(1), which specifically speaks to postponement of the election, saying where a date has been appointed for the holding of an election and there is reason to believe that a serious breach of peace is likely to occur if the election is proceeded with on that date, or it is impossible to conduct the elections as a result of natural disasters or other emergencies, the Commission may postpone the election and shall, in respect of the area or areas concerned, appoint another date for the holding of the postponed election, provided that such reason for the postponement is cogent and verifiable. Well, yes, the Commission cited this reason as part of why they also announced that shift in date. But the people who still say first, they're not exactly sure if they can agree, or they don't even agree with the reason shifted. But has INEC, from this postponement, acted outside the provisions of the law?
Well, the truth is that INEC has the power to postpone election in certain circumstances, one of which is if there's a threat to peace and they are unable to function, if you have a disaster in certain areas. Even the threat to peace is said to be in certain areas based on the Act. But there is a proviso. The reasons that you give must be cogent and verifiable. I watched your live coverage of Professor Chega's address, as it were. And I remember somebody asked, "You are not able to explain to us the nature of the security threat. Where are the security men?" In other words, Nigerians are wondering, what is the nature of the threat?
So wait, they should have been with him on that day of that announcement, explaining and taking questions as well.
I will not say they should have been, but one would expect that he should have a complete picture of what those reasons are, and perhaps find a way to let Nigerians know how could, because when you say verifiable, it means there has to be something that you can demonstrate for somebody to understand why you are doing this. But I see that the way you went about it was to say, look, you know what? On our part, we are ready. We've done everything substantially for us to go on with these elections. But as it were, we have been told some other agencies of government are not ready. And on account of this, I will not risk the life of my men. He says even the materials are not safe. He has about 600,000 staff. Most of them are dog staff. I remember what happened in 2011. He says it appears they can't guarantee their lives. Even the lives of the voters may be in jeopardy. That is the impression that he has. And he says, well, I'm sorry, I have to postpone the elections. But we need to look at it from where we are coming from. In January this year, 7th of January precisely, the president said to us, you know what, INEC, you need to ensure that every eligible voter gets their PVC. And I think that was at the occasion where he was swearing in the INEC rep for your state.
Yes.
And he says, because I want this election to be free, I want this election to be fair. Almost 2 weeks thereafter, the NSA goes to England and says, the way things are going, these people are not ready with the PVCs. The level of distribution is so low that it's better to postpone the elections. 25th of January, John Kerry was here. And the president met with him on a Sunday, after which we were assured as Nigerians and the international community, as it were, that look, the elections will go on as planned. 25th of January till now is just a few days. that the elections will go on as planned, and that all the support that INEC needs to go on with the elections February 14, they will get it. So that means for us as Nigerians, our hopes were high already. That look, that we have the commitment of the president to get this thing done, and that the agency that has the duty to conduct elections will be supported. But I'm afraid, from what the INEC chairman read out, I'm not very sure.
But he also said there that about security. He cited the other sections in the 1999 Constitution, how to conduct the presidential elections, how the two-thirds majority in 25 states of the country now, how you have to win. And he says the areas that they've cited, if there's security concerns in 4 states, he doesn't see how he can proceed conducting those elections and declare a winner for the presidential elections. And if that cannot be done, it means that you can't even declare a winner for the governorship elections and vice versa.
Well, you will recollect that we've had, this is not the first time that we're having elections in this country conducted by the same body. It happened in Anambra, it happened in Imo State, whereby they had to suspend elections in certain areas. The information we have in the public domain is that the problem we have is in 14 local governments of the Northeast. In other words, if, for instance, we are unable to conduct elections immediately in those areas, that can be done later.
But can you declare a winner?
It doesn't have to.
Well, you heard him say, I don't know if you watched it, you heard him say that it had the potential to render the elections inconclusive.
Well, you see, part of the difficulty that we are faced with is that a lot of the times, at critical moments in our national life, things begin to perhaps appear unclear. And I will tell you why. I just recounted what happened in January. I think about the 3rd of February, the IG was reported at the personal that, although it was represented by one of the officers, at the personal parade in Pt.1 in Ogun State. The IG said, we were ready. And don't forget, the police, they have the primary responsibility for security, for law and order during the elections. The military, they are just, if you like, in any event, even the law frowns at it. It's just because of our circumstance as a people that we have to live with it, if you like. The police, as at the 3rd of February, said they were ready. As at the 4th of February, INEC said, with what they have on the ground, they were prepared to go on with the elections. I think part of the problem that we have today is that circumstances make Nigerians wonder how cogent, how verifiable are the kind of security issues that we are being confronted with.
Yeah.
On the 4th of February, the INEC spokesman was reported to have said they were still ready and that substantially they were prepared. On the 5th, that was when we had the Council of State meeting. And they said, well, you look, INEC, from what we had after the meeting, go and consult, it's your job to do, which is a very wise thing to do. Because in any event, the truth of it is that it is the job of INEC to conduct elections. Say, look, go and consult, it's your job to do, go and do your job. That was on the 5th. But if you look at the scenario, the newspapers reported the outcome of that meeting on the 6th of February, Friday. That very day, the papers also reported, mainly front-page stories, a statement given the day before by Mr. Mike Omeri, who happens to be the coordinator of the National Information Center. And what did he say? He said there is intelligence report that some women are trying to acquire cards from other women, either by stealing the cards or buy the cards. And they plan to go to polling stations and bomb people. Then on the 7th, INEC takes the country that they are no more ready. They couldn't go ahead.